lovely humans, welcome back to my channel and to my postpartum purchase guide. Purchase guide? I don't know. What do I call this? My postpartum kit. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jamie Wolfer and I am about to have baby number 4. We are doing a home birth with this one if you're curious to see all things home birthy related and what we're doing to get prepped for that. I'll go ahead and link that video right here for you to check out. But in today's video, I'm just basically gonna walk through the Crunchy Mom Toolkit for postpartum success from my lips to God's ears. It's pretty much common knowledge that having a baby's hard, right? It's gonna be pretty difficult on your body. I have found that going the natural route actually ends up having a way faster recovery. I've had a C-section before. I don't wanna do that again. That was 0 out of 0 fun. Like, not fun at all. So supporting my body through a natural labor is awesome and pretty rad and pretty cool. But at the end of the day, there is no shame in birth. So if you are here looking for a postpartum guide of things that you could potentially have on hand, regardless of however the baby comes out, there's no shame in birth, all right? You did something pretty epic. You brought a human into this world and now you're looking to support your body afterwards. So let's go ahead and go through the things that I have here in front of me. Now I do have literally 4, 5, 6, 7 tincture bottles. So I'm gonna keep the crunchy stuff towards the very end. In case y'all are interested in that. I'm a huge fan of herbal remedies and supplements whenever possible, especially those that support my body and my baby in the postpartum recovery journey. But I also have some really practical things here in front of me as well to help you get your postpartum kit started too. So without further ado, let's just jump right on into it. Also, if talking about like birth stuff freaks you out, then like, I apologize, but that's kind of like the main tenet of this video. So first things first, let's talk about the nether regions because we want to support our friend down there who's done a lot of work, right? So there are a couple things that I have here in front of me. First thing that I've got is you'll probably get a Peri-Bottle from your midwife or from the hospital or wherever you're birthing. But I, this time around, splurged on getting the Frida one. Look at this, you guys. Okay, so here is oh no, my overalls just popped open. If you know, you know. Here's what a traditional Peri-Bottle looks like. So what you do is after you go to the bathroom, sometimes it's gonna hurt a little bit to wipe, to be totally honest, depending on if you tore or if you got a episiotomy or whatever's going on down there. It just doesn't feel great. So you're gonna wanna have warm water in this to rinse off down below. Now we are fortunate enough to, my husband installed a bidet. Y'all remember like the toilet paper crisis of 2020? My husband looked at that and went, no ma'am, we're not doing that. And so he actually purchased bidets for both of our bathrooms. And one of them is heated, so that's fantastic. I won't need to have a Peri-Bottle in there, but it's nice to put warm water in these. However, getting this into a toilet is very difficult, especially when you're not moving well. So to have this as an option, right? And you don't have to finagle getting the bottle into the toilet, game changer. So what I am going to do this time around, I'm actually gonna have this in the bathroom that does not have the heated bidet, is I'm going to put the Herbal Sitz Bath remedy into this bottle with warm water. Is it gonna stay warm all the time? No, obviously. I'm not gonna microwave it before I go to the bathroom every single time, but I will be steeping this in the water to help with some of that relief afterwards. So a Sitz Bath doesn't just have to be for when you are actually sitting in the bath. You can put that in your Peri-Bottle as well. I haven't even used this yet. I'm not gonna say I'm excited to, because I'm not, but knowing the functionality of this versus this is going to be an absolute game changer. I'm looking forward to it being an easier experience. Let's just put it that way. Another Frida product that I'm using this time around is the disposable postpartum underwear. I got the little boy short versions. I have pads on hand. I've got that ready to go if I need to. I'm not going the route of like freezing the herbs into the pads. That's honestly, frankly, and I can't believe that a lot of people do this, that's wet. Like as it melts, that's very wet. I'm not here for that. I don't like that. So I'll be using pads in a regular capacity and I will also be using these because frankly, I'm not gonna wanna be doing a lot of laundry and dealing with this for days. And I personally don't want my husband dealing with it either. So we are going to be using, that's not a group experience. I will be using these. I've seen rave reviews on them. I almost basically copied their step-by-step guide on here, but I kind of do it in my own way. So I've got their Peri-Bottle, I've got this disposable underwear. In addition to that, I also purchased, I can't believe this is like a first for me, we're showing underwear. I purchased some high-waisted underwear, like full on, and this has a specific like firmer top to it. which is going to feel so incredible for postpartum to give that support, because afterwards your belly, sorry, there's a baby goat yelling. Afterwards, your belly ends up feeling like jello, and nobody told me that. And I remember after having my first kids, because we had twins the first time around, I was like, what's happening? So that additional support feels really great. And I bought I think a 10 pack, maybe a 12 pack. I'm not quite sure how many are in here. And in black on purpose. Because again, if I don't want to deal with this, I'm just going to throw them away afterwards. They're specifically designated to see me through a couple weeks of time, and then they can go straight to the trash later if I need to. But they just have that additional support, which will be really nice. But they still have like a little bit of lace detail on them, so I don't feel like I'm wearing full-blown granny panties. If any dude is watching this right now and they're just like, what did I click on? I was just trying to figure out how to help my wife. I'm sorry. We're just getting started though. Now, I will not do the freezer pack, like turning a pad into an iced pad. That's not for me, but what I will do is I will use one of these bad boys. And this is a specific ice pack that I got for my, like when I had my son, and have kept. What we like about this is, you see the shape? This is the perfect shape for icing down there if you need to. Do not apply this directly to your hoo-ha, okay? Put some sort of barrier between your hoo-ha and this, like a dish towel or something. We want the cooling without like the tongue on the light pole experience. You know where I'm going with that. I didn't find that I use these a whole lot, simply because I found it wildly uncomfortable to put something super cold down there. But if I need it, I have it available. I did use it a handful of times. I did find relief from it, but it's not something that I found myself running to. I would rather go sit in a warm bath with some herbs than stick a popsicle where a baby just came from. But I have it there just in case. Oh, good Lord. Let's just move up the body to the next section, shall we? I am not made to do these kinds of videos. Okay, so I got these organic bamboo nursing pads from Kindred Bravely. Got them off of Amazon. They come in this little bag. Why these kinds of things have to come in like awkward, just give me a neutral bag. I don't understand what this is. But basically, reusable nursing pads. I love that they're 100% organic, that they're reusable. I will also be purchasing disposable ones, because let's be honest, if you're out and about, sometimes you don't want to take reusable ones with you. The downside to these is they are pretty bulky, right? Like they're just a lot thicker than the disposable ones. But I like that I can trust the material, and I like that I can reuse them because it makes it a lot more affordable. Another thing I'm trying this time around, I did the disposables last time around, but this time around I'm using the reusable ones with some disposables on the go if I need to, are these Silverette Cups. I have not used them yet, but I do plan on 100% breastfeeding. I do know that cracking and having sore nipples, that is par for the course when it comes to this. And I am excited to try these. Again, I'm not excited to try these. Just like the Peri-Bottle, like I'm not excited, but I'm hoping that these will relieve common issues that most moms run into, and that is giving your chest the ability to dry out. I did do those plastic dome cups with my last one. They were super bulky and really awkward. It's like, why do you have a muffin top on top of your boob? So I'm hoping these will be a little bit more subtle. But what they do is they provide a pocket of air around your nipple and your areola to give it time to heal, because that's a lot of feeding. And I honestly think the first few weeks can be pretty rough. I'm not gonna lie to you. But once you get in your rhythm, it's so much easier. Someone asked me recently, like, what do you think is easier? Like pumping and bottle feeding, or formula feeding, or, because I've done all of them. And I'm like, straight breastfeeding is the easiest, because then you never have to worry about bringing anything with you. It's just right there. So I'm hoping that these little Silverettes will help with some of that recovery stuff. It's not a long-term need. You will not permanently need to have these on hand, but I'm hoping it'll be nice to have them, especially in those early days. They are not cheap. They're like 60 bucks. Each of them are like 30, that's like 30 bucks a ta-ta. That's a lot of money. So I'm gonna try them out. Hope for the best, rave reviews online. So I think they're gonna be pretty successful, but I will let you know how that goes. Okay, and then as far as balms are concerned, again, this is for when it's dry and cracking, not for when it's overly wet. These are for when you need it to dry out. This is for when it's too dry or you've got some cracking going on. I'm going with the Earth Mama Organics Nipple Butter, and this has got no petroleum, parabens, or artificial fragrance, which is incredible. I can read everything that's in it. Let's see, we've got olive oil, beeswax, cocoa butter, shea butter, mango butter, and calendula, which is great for healing. I haven't used this before. It'll be interesting. I usually like to have multiple of these on hand. I don't care how big your house is. I don't. If you are nursing in the middle of the night and you need this readily available, you do not want to wander over to wherever you left this. I'm gonna hold off a little bit. I'm gonna try it, see how I like it, keep it on my postpartum bedside. And if I do, I will be buying a second one of these to have either in the family room space or in her bedroom or in my room or on the go. I usually like to have multiples of these, but I'm gonna test this one out first. So I'm looking forward to it. Again, I keep saying that. You know, I'm looking forward to having a baby. Just hope this will take care of some of the cracks along the way. Now, as far as covering things, because that will be necessary, there's gonna be some leakage involved. I hate to break it to you, but you're gonna need to protect probably some soft surfaces in your home. We have, and this was in like my birth kit video for the home birth, but we have a bunch of Chucks pads. These are the disposable, basically potty training pads for puppies. But they label them differently so you don't feel like a small chihuahua when using them. And these are great for if you want to sit on the couch, laying down in bed. Obviously, you're probably gonna have a pad on, you're gonna have other things to help take care of you. But as a just in case, especially when you're sleeping, you don't want to have to worry about this. These are really crinkly and really annoying to sleep with. I highly not recommend doing that. Instead, this time around, I'm opting for something called the Lifesaver mat that we're getting through Little Helpers. It's really big. From what I understand, people have used this for postpartum a lot. I don't have it yet. It took them a really long time to ship it, so I'm hoping that it's here in time. So it should cover my side of the bed pretty well. I am also going to be using, you guys, these are, my mom told me about these with the girls and she's like, just buy them for everything. I'm like, what are you talking about? These are waterproof mats that are made to go on the crib. Right? So that's a pretty massive, that's huge. My overalls are probably gonna get. But what I use these for is so much more than that. One, I place them on top of the changing sheet on the changing pad. So you don't have to keep washing that repeatedly. So much easier to just chuck this in the wash than it is to take the sheet off of the changing pad every time your baby has an accident that spills over. Two, put this under your body while you're sleeping because it's waterproof. This is much quieter to sleep on than one of those plasticky options is. So whenever the Lifesaver mat is in the wash, I will have this underneath me. This is also really convenient if you nurse in bed, which I fully plan on doing. So it's nice to have this laid underneath you in case you leak a little or baby spits up, or honestly, the two of you are probably gonna be pretty sweaty if you're laying there together because babies are just like little personal heaters, personal space heaters. So throwing this on means that I don't have to wash my sheets every single day or every time I nurse and you know something ends up happening and it just gets a little bit messy maybe. So I've got these in two different sizes. There's the crib size, and of course we use them for the crib as well. And do I have the smaller ones? No, I only brought the big ones with me. There are smaller sizes as well that you can use specifically for the changing table if you want. But these large ones, I'm telling you, if you leave with nothing else from this video, no one talks about these enough. No one talks about, well, I guess there is enough talking about them at a certain point. These are hands down one of my favorite hacks for postpartum because it just makes your life easier. You have a newborn, you don't need to be washing your sheets every single day. Buy some of these and thank me later. Now let's launch into some of the more herbal supplements, etc. Somebody recommended this to me, and this is the first 40 days, the essential art of nourishing the new mother. I'm a huge fan of, if you have the freezer space and if you have the time, of doing meal prep. I had every intention of filming some meal prep options during this pregnancy and did not. Okay, it never came to fruition. But we probably have 2 to 3 weeks worth of dinners frozen, ready to go. Just like ready so we don't have to worry about the first few weeks of meals. Some people might bring food over. I know my mom will. We've got family and friends in the area. They might as well. Not necessarily planning on a meal train type thing, but I'm aware that people might bring food over. We'll also have nights where we're not gonna cook at all. But one thing I want to be really intentional on is making sure I am feeding my body things that help it to recover and help my baby to grow really well. So I did get this book. I started looking through it and I'm like, I'm not sure how much I recommend it just yet. I think I need to spend some more time with it. Recipes didn't start till 127 pages into the book. So the first part is like creating your nest and what to look for in foods, what to have in your pantry maybe. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in the beginning that I think could be really helpful for a first-time mom. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't know how truly helpful a book like this would be. It's beautiful. It's fun to look at. I'll report back later. But if you're looking for something as a gift, or if you are a first-time mom and you're trying to figure out some really good ideas, I do recommend it. I think there's a lot of hearty reading before it. If you want to kind of figure out what this postpartum journey can look like, this is great. Totally recommend. I've been here before, so the first 130 pages might not be useful, but I'm curious to see how the recipes look. Now let's go into tincture land, or like herbal supplement land. Most of these are tinctures. I've got one that is not. In fact, let's do that one first. And this is homeopathic medicine, which again, I'm a huge fan of. Arnica helps with bruising and swelling. I'm gonna let you go ahead and crack that code. This is the kind that you actually dissolve under your tongue, and you can take a couple times daily. So I'll have that on my bedside for pain management and additional support to kind of get the swelling to go down sooner rather than later, because no one wants to stay extra puffy in any part of their body for any longer than they have to. In addition to that, I also have organic cold pressed pineapple juice, because the active ingredient, one of the main proponents of pineapple juice is bromelain, which helps with reducing swelling afterwards as well. So I've actually started drinking that already to get my body prepared for that. And then we'll continue to drink it postpartum to get some of this swelling down. Obviously, things aren't going to be feeling great. So anything that I can do to support my body in relieving what that swelling looks like is going to be pretty helpful. Now moving on to tinctures, which again, I have quite a number of here. The first one I've got on my list is ashwaganda, and all of these are going to be organic. And as many of them are as cold pressed as I could find them. So ashwaganda is incredible for a whole lot of reasons, but this one specifically is in my toolkit because it works with the HPG axis, which is the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, to help modulate the stress hormone that the body produces. It helps to support normal energy, but also works really well for any postpartum anxiety or depression. You're gonna be tired, your hormones are gonna be all over the place, so using ashwaganda for energy and hormone support is extremely helpful. I know for me previously postpartum that sometimes my cortisol levels will spike while nursing. So I'm eager to have this on hand to see how well that will help me manage the hormone changes and the spikes that might potentially change or affect my anxiety in any direction. I have this on hand. Next one on my list is Skullcap. Skullcap is another herb in the nervine category. This helps to decrease stress and anxiety, and helps with sleep issues, especially postpartum insomnia. This is the very first pregnancy I've even had, like pregnancy insomnia. Not fun. If you are going on that path, I'm so sorry. It's possible to have a pregnancy without it, but this time around, I guess I just got the lucky stick. And then this is also a really good support for stress and anxiety for postpartum as well. Kind of in the same vein as ashwaganda specifically. The next one is Passionflower. Now this one looks a little bit different. This is actually a tincture that my midwife made, and this is something that's new to me. I haven't worked with this one at all yet. Passionflower is great for postpartum, especially if anxiety is associated with difficulty falling asleep or staying asleep. This was not going to make you sleep through your baby crying, okay? It's just for clarity's sake, my midwife specifically gave this to me because I'm struggling with insomnia. I'm hoping it won't be a problem afterwards, like I can actually fall asleep, but I definitely want to have this on hand in case I keep experiencing it in the postpartum journey. It's a nervine, which means it has a calming and relaxing effect. Studies show that Passionflower is as effective as prescription anxiety medications in treating anxiety. How stinking cool is that? I love that God made plants. If you can learn how to use them effectively, and if you know how to dose them correctly, that's incredible that it can be just as effective as prescription medication. Next on my list is stinging nettle. It's been used in nursing mothers orally as a postpartum tonic for treating anemia. It's also a purported galactagogue, which is a fun word. It helps with milk production. Stinging nettle is believed to stimulate milk production and increase the supply of breast milk in breastfeeding mothers. It's generally considered safe to begin taking nettle immediately after giving birth and can be continued for an extended period of time. It also mediates inflammation and histamine and acts as a mild diuretic and laxative. Afterwards, you're probably gonna be a little constipated. This is gonna be your best friend for a lot of reasons. It builds energy without caffeine, strengthens the adrenal glands, again, that adrenal support, that anxiety, that postpartum hormone changes, cortisol levels. This will support with that as well, and supports a healthy milk supply. Traditional midwives used nettle infusions to reduce postpartum bleeding as well. If there is one thing that you take away from this, this covers a whole lot of those options. It helps with your milk supply, with stress, with giving you energy, helping you go to the bathroom, supporting your adrenals, all of it. Stinging nettle, who knew? This is another new one to my toolkit. This is Moringa. I've never taken Moringa before. I actually didn't even know what it was until I saw someone else talking about it in their postpartum kit. It can help to improve digestion, which again gets things moving because it's gonna be a little slow afterwards. It also contains isothiocyanates, flavonoids, and phenolic acid, which have anti-inflammatory properties. Same thing as the bromelain from the pineapple juice and the Arnica. We're supporting all of that swelling and getting that to go away as quickly as possible. It's also great for lactation support and upping your milk supply, for managing cortisol levels, and for helping with digestive problems. So another one that's really great right alongside stinging nettle. The last two are actually combo tinctures from Wish Garden, and they're specifically for postpartum support. The first one is Wombstringe, and this has a proprietary blend of bayberry root, shepherd's purse, witch hazel bark, and cinnamon bark. This is to help with postpartum bleeding and for toning everything up afterwards. In addition to that, red raspberry leaf tea. Dates are good for postpartum, as well as evening primrose oil. Those are all effective in really getting the uterus to tone up afterwards, and it can help reduce and manage bleeding and get you back to your normal cycle a lot more quickly. The toning actions of the herbs found in Wombstringe for women support a woman's body in moderating blood flow and spotting between cycles and postpartum. This formula contains some of the best astringent herbs, helping to promote healthy bleeding and promotes your body's natural ability to keep excess bleeding and spotting in check. Yes, ma'am. And then AfterEase is a combination of black haw bark, yarrow, motherwort, and cramp bark. This is specifically for afterbirth contractions. So you have the baby and you're like, yay, it's all done. Not quite. Your uterus will continue to shrink down to its normal size, which is good because there's no longer a baby in there. But that is done through contractions. In fact, if you do go through a hospital route and you do happen to get on Pitocin, you will have much more intense contractions after the fact. If there is any way that you can avoid Pitocin, I would recommend it personally. Because not only does it make the contractions more intense during labor, but it makes the postpartum contractions more intense as well. You will naturally have them as you're breastfeeding. It will trigger your body's oxytocin. That will then trigger your uterus to contract, which is pretty cool, actually, if you think about it. That can be for passing the placenta and also getting the uterus down. But you want to support those contractions and support your body to get through them as effectively as possible and as quickly as possible, because we already have the baby. We're excited. We don't want to be dealing with any more of this noise, okay? We will be doing delayed cord clamping specifically. Like, in fact, I asked my midwife this. I was like, why do we need a cord clamp? We actually wait until the blood stops pumping through the cord and the baby gets all of those stem cells, which is really interesting. People will talk about saving the stem cells in the cord blood and like at a blood bank. And we're like, why not just let it pump into the baby? And the baby can have it, and then they don't need to have it saved anywhere. It's already in their body. So we wait until it stops pulsing and going through, and the cord will actually turn white. We do not immediately cut it. We do not immediately clamp, but it does need to be clamped off eventually because the child would be made fun of if they're still attached to the placenta, you know, in first grade. Just kidding. That wouldn't happen. But food for thought, if you are considering doing that, wherever you are having your baby, consider doing delayed cord clamping because those stem cells are important and your baby needs them. Get it out of the placenta, get it into their bodies, and then let it live with them for the rest of their lives. So black haw bark is well known for its use in easing menstrual cramps and labor discomforts. Yes, ma'am. Yarrow aerials consist of chemicals that help soothe stomach cramps, support blood flow, and may alleviate PMS symptoms associated with sore breasts and heavy menstrual flow. It also encourages a healthy estrogen and progesterone balance. So many people are estrogen dominant these days. That's a total different video for a different time, but this will help with that balance. Therefore, assisting in the herbal formulas promoting healthy hormonal balance. Motherwort is an herb used to promote balanced bleeding and normal inflammatory response. And cramp bark is used to ease cramping and swelling of the uterus. So this is going to be my best friend immediately postpartum and probably for another day or so afterwards. I don't know if it's something I can take beforehand. That's worth checking. As always, check with your medical professional and care provider before taking any of these things. This is not substitute medical advice, okay? This does not substitute medical advice. I'm on this herbal journey. I'm discovering what all these things do, and it's really freaking cool, and I'm excited by it. But you need to research what's best for you and your body. Make sure you're taking things that are safe to have during pregnancy and during nursing, because that's important. You want to take things that are nursing and pregnancy safe. This will be my first pregnancy really heavily leaning into herbal supplements for postpartum support, so I am looking forward to them hopefully being very effective. This was a lot of stuff. This is a long video. I will do my best to have everything linked in the description box below. If I've been contemplating getting a blog going, so if I have one for this video, I will have it linked down below as well, with all the explanations of why I've chose these things and what they support and what they do, included in those descriptions as well, so you can refer back to those whenever you need them. If you are on this journey and you're about to have a baby and you're trying to get prepped, I'm so excited for you. I am so excited for you. Just remember, there is no shame in birth. You're having a baby, and that is cool, and that is hard. Regardless of however the baby gets here, I am proud of you, I'm excited for you, and I'm excited for this next journey for you guys. If you have a suggestion of something that worked really well for you postpartum, will you please leave that in the comments down below? Let's support each other. Birth is hard enough as is. Let me know your favorites, and maybe I'll end up snagging a few of those as well, although I don't know if I need any more tinctures. I think like 7 is enough. But hey, maybe I'm missing a really important one. Let me know. So that's what we have for this week's video, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you liked the video, jump on down there, hit that like button, and subscribe to this channel to stick around and see the baby when she gets here, because I'm so excited. I get to meet my baby soon, and then I get to actually like use all this stuff because I'm having a baby, and that's exciting. Go team. And until next time, bye guys.